We serve about 2,000 families every year at Interfaith, and you could understand them in 4 categories. So the largest number of folks that we see are families who are working and barely making it. So they're working maybe 1 or 2 jobs, maybe not earning benefits, and they're struggling to make their budget work every month. They're seeing us to make that budget work, and they're showing up whenever something goes wrong. We do serve a group of people who are on low and fixed income, so maybe seniors, people with disabilities, they might be living on Social Security, and we are, again, how we make life work month to month. And also, for some of them, I would say that we are community for them at times, those who have been in relationship with us over time. And then the last 2, our staff would talk about a group of folks who maybe before this point in their lives have never struggled or had to go beyond their own resources to make life work, and something significant has changed. And so mostly that is a divorce, a job loss, an illness. Everything's different. Things used to work, now they don't. And they may know that there are services out there that could be helpful, but they're not quite sure how to get started. And we tend to be the place where people come to just get moving in the right direction. And then lastly are the folks who we see who have or are experiencing homelessness. We are currently in a housing crisis. Rents are high, vacancies are low, families are struggling. There's a disconnect, a significant disconnect in the community between what is available and what's needed, what's available and what's affordable. So what that looks like for families, housing is considered affordable if it is 30% or less of our income. In Plymouth, the average rent is $1,300. And so a family's going to need to make $52,000 a year to make that rent affordable. Here at Interfaith, over half of our families, 65% of our families, have incomes that are below the poverty level. And that means a family of 4 is making $26,000 or less. So there's the disconnect, right? They're not touching this market. This mismatch between incomes and housing costs, it creates housing instability, it creates financial vulnerability, it creates homelessness. So we know that as we're working with families over time towards stability, there are 2 levers, right? There is the cost of their housing and their income. And so what can we do? What can we do as an agency, as a community, to help affect those 2 levers? One, housing, we can provide interventions along a continuum because clients are showing up along a continuum of need. We can be here to provide emergency rent assistance to help people maintain that solid foundation of housing. We can have folks working within affordable housing communities throughout Plymouth and Medina to help families build community and support youth and maintain that housing foundation. And we can be active in creating additional affordable housing units in our community, which is in the long run the answer. So we can affect that lever. We also can affect income. So we have a tremendous team here, our employment service team, skilled, talented, creative people who are working with participants to achieve their employment goals. They are helping them to build skills. They're developing partnerships with local employers. And they're creating opportunities for families to be able to step into jobs that are going to provide stability over the long haul. Here we are in this time of COVID. What I see is so much change and uncertainty and fear among families. The good news is that families are continuing to reach out and stay connected. In fact, the numbers of families that we're seeing has increased through COVID. The other good news is that this community has created important safety nets. State funds, county funds, new programs, new supports that have been created since COVID began are important. The eviction moratorium is important. That's all good news. What's true now, we know that even that there are families who have lost income, have lost jobs, and again, the good news is they're still housed because there are important supports out there. I think that the hardest part right now is knowing that the stability that families are experiencing right now is really resting on a foundation that is kind of a system that none of us know the future of, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know about the next chapter, past the eviction moratorium, past additional supports in the community. So our job right now is to be in relationship with our community, be in conversation, listen, watch, pay attention, know how things are changing, and be able to respond quickly when they do. There are a lot of activities happening here at Interfaith. They're organized into 6 impact areas. So we're providing services in the areas of food, family support, employment, education and youth, housing and neighborhoods, and transportation.